Tell me what it's like to be a singer-songwriter back in the Caribou.
It's nice. It's nice and it's quiet. It was a bit wild for me down at the coast, and being back here surrounded by my family that plays music all the time and community members that are excited to have me on board with some of their projects. It's really exciting.
Right, so coming home, have you been connecting musically with the family that everybody knows is, you know, the start of some wonderful music from the hometown?
Yeah, as much as I can. I don't, like Ferris and Jason are so busy doing their own thing, we don't get to play music together as part of a project. We always plan to and want to, wish to. Maren and I have thought about doing duet projects together, and I think that would be really, really fun, and we'd make some cool stuff. But no, it's been more like a support system and base for me. So
mostly when we encounter the Patenaudes, we do ask about the old band and how that started for you. Did you join in with a guitar as a youngster, or did you start with another in?
No, my in was the bongos. So from the age of 3 to 4, my illustrious and long bongo career started and ended on the Lac La Hache Country Music Festival stages.
Right.
So yeah, playing with my dad.
And at the age of 4, there was a transition?
From
bongos to another instrument, or that was
dirt
the
bikes.
end of...
No, yeah, bongos to dirt bikes. It was the sort of end of music for a little while. I was in piano lessons, and for some reason I just hated them. My sisters were all at this classical level of, I don't know, achievement on piano, and I think I got to, like, I don't know, some song about robins eating worms, and I just said to my mom, I don't want to do this. So I got dirt bikes and trucks and stuff, and slowly found my way back about 14 years later.
14 years. Yeah, it seems like the teens is a striking time for a young man to get back into tunes. And was it guitar after that?
No, it was a reluctant joining of the Williams Lake Brass Band with Michael Butterfield.
No kidding.
Yeah, I played saxophone and faked my way through all the songs because I could copy the notes, but I couldn't read the music.
Right.
And I remember being really ashamed when they would call on me and Cole, can you start it there? No, I can't. So that sort of drifted me away from saxophone again. Then my mom bought me a drum kit, and I didn't play it. I think I got an Xbox and maybe a girlfriend at the same time, and it just didn't really happen for me. So she took that back. And then I remember my dad one day was talking about Ferris, that she was playing music down in Victoria, just a duo with her friend Catherine, I think. And my dad was like, she's a darn good guitar player. And I was like, well, that's what I'm going to be too.
Right.
So I borrowed a guitar from him, played terribly for a really long time, and loved every second of it.
Right. And did you, at that time, choose a lane? Did you have a style choice, or was it, or were you just learning old classics that you were drawn to? No.
I've always had a backwards approach to music where I didn't learn any songs.
Right.
I started at the beginning from listening to other guitar players' songs and playing along to their songs, but my stuff. So it was backwards, held me back from a lot of things, but I loved it, and I was really dedicated to doing that and only that for a really long time.
Right.
And I started off with things like Celtic guitar, acoustic alchemy, which was like this, I don't know, it would be the kind of guitar playing that would play in like a Spanish movie.
Right. Like Can you give me a little lick there?
Like
a vocal rendition of the
something
guitar
like
Oh, it sounds elevator too.
No, it's lovely.
Yeah.
And I would play along and do a little responsive lick to it. And it was nice. After a while, my mom actually stopped asking me to stop playing. So that was good.
You're picking it up.
Yeah. No, I was getting to a place where other people could stand me being in the room playing the guitar. It was nice.
And then slowly, it sounds like you were slow to make connections to other musicians, but that obviously happened at some point.
Yep.
Were you here? Were you in the city? How did that happen for you?
I knew at about 18 I kind of wanted to play music and see if I could make a job of that, try to make money. And I was really blown away by what my sisters were doing. Ferris was playing such cool music, and it just seemed like she was having a great time. And I told my mom in Boston Pizza I'd like to be a musician, and I moved down to Victoria and got a job at Long and McQuaid. And then I started a couple of little small bands that never went anywhere, never played any shows. And then I moved to Kelowna after a year and played guitar with a few people around, never played any shows, had lots of musician friends that were fun to hang out with, but I never played anything. I had a couple of songs finished. And then I moved back here and decided I was going to go to music school in Nelson, and met a lot of good musician friends there, and got my first taste of what performance was actually like as a lead singer, lead guitar player. Started to realize that I really liked that too.
Right on.
Yeah.
What's the school in Nelson called?
Selkirk.
Selkirk
College, yeah.
2-3 years?
I was there for one semester.
No kidding?
Yeah, my tinnitus, the ringing in my ears got so bad. Actually, the ringing in my ears started the day I left for music school. And I remember getting there and just spending about a month in panic, and then realizing I couldn't focus on anything but this ringing in my head, so I dropped out.
Dang.
Yeah, made great friends there in that short amount of time just because of how cool those people were. Some friends I still contact now, and we hang out. We've played in bands together, and it was awesome, but it would have been nice to complete it because I still don't really know anything about music.
I feel like you might not know like anything about music, but you know something about music.
I have music.
Yeah.
There's music in there that has to go somewhere, and I think that I have a creative brain in a way that makes music that I want to listen to. That's sort of been the goal. But in terms of like writing things down, charting something, understanding keys and notation, it's just something I haven't got to yet.
Right. When you do compose, how does that work? Do you have a sort of an approach that's consistent, or is it always a little bit different when you start writing your songs?
It comes in different ways. For the most part, some kind of cool guitar riff or something that I think is cool comes into my head, and I hum it into my phone or a little voice recorder that I have, and I'm at about maybe 4,000 or 5,000 of those now.
Right.
And I think just under 4,000 or 5,000 of those are not very good, but some of those ones have turned into songs that I love playing, and I've got good reactions from other people. So usually it's some kind of music comes out of nowhere, and I'm just singing it all of a sudden. And then the words, sometimes they come too.
Right.
Sometimes I got to think about them for a long time.
I'm always curious about the musician's match of the lyric to the melody or whatever. It's not always the melody that comes through if you're playing a riff. But does that seem easy for you, or I suppose it's probably both?
It is both. It's almost unfortunate in the way, in how often the music sort of just comes out of my brain, in that I never find time or the dedication to finish stuff. So I have a ton of started things, and I'm like, that'll be a cool song one day. But I seem to find ways to distract myself with new music coming through my brain all the time to not finish stuff off. So it comes easy in terms of I don't even have to try, and it just shows up. But it also comes hard in that I haven't really applied the principle of dedication to my music in the way that I think I should.
Right. Well, so 2 albums in, that's not nothing that you've like put to recording.
No.
Was Wonderful the first? It's like official recording that you did?
Yep. Wonderful was the first little EP, 5 songs on there with a group of guys down in Vancouver that were just fantastic musicians.
The piano player.
Yeah, No, Dean is a wonderful man. They were all wonderful men and wonderful musicians. They were great to play with. And we recorded that at Afterlife Studios in Vancouver. And I think our first show was opening for Marin with that set of songs. It was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're saying you might have 10 albums just kind of in the closet, in the file cabinet? Maybe not.
I think 10 is a conservative number, to be honest. it just, I don't know how many of the songs would sound dissimilar enough to warrant having a listen, but I have so many different things that I'm working with this new band and with my solo acoustic stuff. It's kind of overwhelming sometimes.
So the solo acoustic is what we've got a taste of here for Rendezvous.
Yeah.
Who are you playing with?
I was playing with a friend of mine named Max Heineman. He is an amazing bass player, wonderful singer. He plays in the Losum Ace string band, and they've toured all over the place. They're an awesome tight group.
And there's a local connection now, correct?
Yeah, Max lives up here, or lives in Horsefly. He's very close with Ferris and Jason, and him and his wife, Grace, we've got to know them pretty well over the last year that we've been here. And playing with him was a really nice natural fit, and we'll be doing that again for sure.
Yeah, that sounded great.
Yeah.
Do you have, a different approach to writing that solo acoustic stuff versus the band or the blues-driven work that you're doing?
Yes and no. No, in the sense that it sort of happens the same way. The song that comes into my head, I could be underneath a car changing oil, and I could be 3/4 asleep, and a blues rock song will show up all of a sudden, and then, I got to get up and play that and figure it out. And then I'll be mowing the lawn, and I can barely hear anything, and a soft acoustic song just comes through, a little melody, and let's go figure that out. So I don't have a method. They are similar in that they just show up, but different in the way that I approach the construction of that song.
Right, the process afterwards, yeah. Have you named your muse? Sounds like you got a good one.
No, I don't have a name for it. I didn't even know that was really an option. Consider naming it at all.
Sky's the limit. Make a relationship to that.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Or not.
That's a good plan.
Keep it mysterious.
It's always just felt like, almost like my sleeping brain, my subconscious, is something inside there. It just goes, hey, I have a song now. And then, okay, I'm going to sing that for the next 4 hours while I mull it over my brain.
Right, and they're happy enough giving you the songs. You are doing stuff with it. I've heard that the muse can stop being so active if not taken seriously. We'll pass that idea on to somebody else, I've heard, right? So at least you're starting enough to get the muse returning on a regular basis.
I'd like to find the middle of the song muse and the end of the song muse, because I got the beginning of the song muse just fired up and locked in.
Lyrically too, like sections, or do you have more like guitar or, songs without the words?
You mean like instrumental music?
Yeah, well, I know that you're a songwriter that has lyrics to their songs, but when you get the idea, does it come rife with some of the lyrical content as well? Or
Usually there's something that comes along fitting the melody, just like a certain phrase, like you can't have perfect. Like that shows up when I'm singing my song Wonderful. It just, you can't have perfect, but you can have wonderful. I didn't think about those words. They just sort of happened. And then I have other songs where I can't find the words. I haven't found the ones that fit the music in the way that I can go, you're ready. You're ready to go and be listened to.
Do you ever, when you're working with the larger bands, get them to collaborate on some of that ideas generation for, I listened recently to the Chili Peppers talk about their processes, and there is sometimes like a band collective,
like a
sharing
round table
pool.
almost thing.
Yeah. But does that happen for you in this current iteration?
With music, I love to have, actually with music and lyrics, I really love to have ideas from other people. I really want to be in a band. I like being the lead singer, and I like sort of having the direction and deciding on that. But I love being part of a collaborative, and anytime I have something that I'm stuck on, I love bringing it to the band and going, what do you guys think here? Dean, who played piano on both the albums, he was a wonderful resource because he's an excellent composer. And he just composed for a 30-piece orchestra, which was really cool, all his own original stuff. And he would be an excellent resource if I just said, what do you guys think here? Well, what if we tried this? Really creative, really helpful, humble guy, so
That's
wonderful
great.
to work with.
I love that.
Hmm.
I'm a collaborative artist as well. The theater vibe is what expanded my
Yeah.
idea pool too.
It
It's
feels
just-
good.
It feels really
You're all
good.
in it together.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
on stage together.
Yeah.
You can't just have one member of the band perform or produce. You feed off of each other.
Mm-hmm.
It's a wonderful thing. That's why I don't really like playing solo acoustic music, because I don't always really want the focus to be entirely on me. I like it to be shared.
Yeah.
I
Even though you're the lead singer.
yeah, no, I like a little bit of the focus for sure to be on me. I do.
And with Max, that sort of started a bit casually, but you said you want to continue with him sort of for your solo acoustic work.
Yeah.
Do you feel the same way? He's really collaborative in the way you jam together.
I really like playing with Max because he's really professional, and he knows a lot more about the formation of music than I do, and has a good understanding of the technical side of it as well.
Right.
So he's got good ideas for my songs. He's also really respectful of it being my music, and he's like, oh, I want your music to come through. So yeah, no, he's a great partner to play with, and we were going to play, he wanted to play blues
Right.
with me, and electric blues, and then you guys asked me about this performance, and I just thought it would be really nice to have the additional sound, especially coming out of his hands, and we'll get him singing on some of those things
Oh,
too.
great.
Yeah, he's excited to do that.
Right on.
Yeah.
And now you've been working with some old friends, and they're called collectively the Screech Owls.
Yeah, the Screech Owls.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are a couple of guys that I've known for quite a long time. Kevin Easthope, he's born and bred in Williams Lake, and him and his brother been good friends of mine. I graduated with Colin, his younger brother. Colin and I have played a ton of music together at Arts on the Fly in Kelowna and Vancouver. We're always looking out for each other musically. I love playing with him. Alex Trenk I graduated with, he plays bass. Wonderful dude, he lives just down the road actually. And then Connor Dollahan, he's a Williams Lake guy as well, and he's an awesome singer and a great guitar player, and we just all are doing great at being friends with each other and playing music, so it's really
That's awesome.
fun.
Yeah, we're looking forward to seeing more of you.
Yeah,
In
we'll
fact,
be
we'll
around
have you
for
in,
sure.
some summer shows, I've heard.
Yep.
Heard a little rumor.
Yeah, we'll be playing a performance in the park on July 28th, and then we have Arts on the Fly coming up, and a couple other things that we're trying to put together. Yeah.
Nice to have you back in the Caribou then, liven things up.
Yeah, it feels really good. I like playing live music anywhere, but it's pretty neat to come back to a place where you get to sort of go, hey, this is me and what I can do. Hope you like it. I'm from here, and we can talk about this afterwards. It's a lot more close to the heart and easier to connect with the people here, I think,
Yeah.
just from a local level.
You're still able to use your connections down south though, and if you're recording anything in the future.
Yep. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I can't imagine recording without John Ram, who recorded, I think, Ferris and Jason's last 3 or 4 albums.
Right.
He did Are You Happy Now, my second album. He's done the last 2 of Marin's, become the family
great.
producer engineer, and he's just so great to work with. He's got great ears and great attitude, and he's down in Vancouver, and I know the boys in the Cole Patenaude band would be open to playing if I wanted to set up shows down there. And yeah, it's neat to see what Marin's doing down there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And are you recording anytime soon, or
It's-
generating some of those file cabinet full of songs?
It's the hope,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, I'd really like to. Ferris's barn is up for use anytime I want, and just got to get John to come up here and record it live off the floor, I think, there, just to save my hearing.
Right.
And then, yeah, I've got a lot of songs that I would really like to have finished, because I feel like I carry them until they're
So what do you need
on there.
What do you need?
Money's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, funding helps. Yeah, it's a busy time. I've got 3 young kids, and little property that I got to take care of, and just responsibilities take a lot of time.
This is, just for everyone's awareness, we're in your shop.
Yep.
That you
We're in
inherited
the
here?
shop/barn.
Yeah, kind of a barn.
Yeah,
kind
I'm
of a
not really
shop.
sure what to call this building. Perfectly organized, as you can see.
Right by Rose Lake, is that right?
Yep,
Sweet
we're right
little
at the end
spot.
of Rose Lake.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, we really appreciate you being part of the Rendezvous, chatting with us, and
That's my pleasure.
sharing your songs with us.
No, thanks for having me.